Peace will fill the world when we finally understand that only from within can it be spread throughout the land. Every single person living peace in what we do, only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true.
Good morning, friends. I'm Leona Evans, minister at Unity of San Luis Obispo, an inclusive, progressive, spiritual community affirming the good in all life. Welcome to our Sunday morning live stream. I'm thrilled to be here, and I am honored to be able to wish you a happy Thanksgiving week. We have a very special service today. I know I say that a lot, but I guess I think that's true every time. And today we're going to be talking about the transforming power of gratitude. You know, gratitude or giving thanks is not just something to do to be polite. It is truly a transformative action that reflects a prosperity consciousness within us. And so let us take a deep breath and relax now as we are preparing ourselves to listen and participate in this service today. So much positive power is being generated here among this spiritual family. And so I'm grateful for that. I give thanks for that. And I ask you to continue to relax, find a comfortable space, clear your mind of any extraneous thoughts or regrets or plans for the future. Be here, fully present now, and accept the goodness that is already yours. Let us take a deep breath and affirm together, I am now open and receptive to the living spirit of truth. Breathe deeply again, and one more time, let us affirm, I am now open and receptive to the living spirit of truth. And so it is. Amen. Let us open our Thanksgiving service with a wonderful joy song performed by Matthew J. Evans.
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Today we're going to sing Thank You. Please sing along with the lyrics on the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your peace that fills us so sweetly and comforts and soothes us and holds us so gently in loving caresses, embracing the universe, making your children as one. Oh, how we thank you that your peace is growing within us and bringing us home, God, to you. Thank you for your light that keeps us in brightness and flows from within us, dispelling all darkness in streams of profusion, encircling the universe, making your children as one. Oh, how we thank you that your light is growing within us and bringing us home, God, to you. Thank you for your love that binds us together and lifts us and heals us and goes on forever in spirals unending, uniting the universe, making your children as one. Oh, how we thank you that your love is growing within us and bringing us home, God, to you. Oh, how we thank you for your love that's growing within us and bringing us home, God, to you. Have a great morning, everybody.
Thank you so much, Matthew. That is a powerful song, and you did it beautifully. The transforming power of gratitude. Please keep in mind that gratitude is much more than just being socially appropriate. It's much more than being polite, and it's definitely much more than a reciprocal action. In other words, thanking someone for something they did for you. We tend to trivialize gratitude because, well, as we're growing up, it's taught as something that is polite and a loving thing to do. It's not usually thought of as necessary to our growth and unfoldment and our evolution and our spiritual sophistication. It's not really taught like that, and not often is it understood that way. But today, let's ground our talk and our service in the principle that we were made in the image of the living Spirit of truth, the divine energy, the first cause and creative source in all of the universe. We have been endowed with spiritual gifts, with a divine individuality, with wisdom, with compassion, with strength and power and faith, and every attribute you could ever imagine. And the only way to really acknowledge who we are and understand what we are made of and what our purpose is to gratefully acknowledge those attributes and those gifts every single day of our lives. Every single day. I know that we have challenges in our lives, and when we have challenges, those issues become exacerbated by previous ways of thinking. The last time this happened, there was a disaster. I saw this once on TV and they didn't make it through. There are so many memories and so many wounds that come to the surface when we're challenged. And very seldom do we take the time to say, I see this. This is a very difficult situation. This is coming upon me right now. It was unexpected and unwelcome. I want to take this opportunity to give thanks that I have the strength, the power, the resilience, the compassion, the wisdom, and the fortitude to do what I need to do to overcome and to be blessed by this experience. It doesn't happen as often for me as I would like. Although I must say, I do have a habit of saying to myself, if I knew who I was, and if I were in a position to give thanks for all of my potential and all of my abilities, what would I do in this situation? That's something I've been doing for a long time, and I recommend that highly, because it's an opportunity to move from helplessness to a recognition that we have within us all of the opportunities available to us to create calm out of chaos. And if we have it within us, even if we haven't experienced that level of sophistication before, we can give thanks for the miracle that we haven't yet seen. But it all begins with giving thanks. Prosperity is a consciousness of gratitude and thankfulness and appreciation for not only what we have that can be photographed, or perceived with the physical senses, but for that which we know through our divine faculty of faith is within us. We can call that forth. Not only can we, but it becomes our spiritual responsibility to call that forth in times when we experience lack of insight, lack of finances, lack of love in our lives, lack of time to do all the things we need to do. When we affirm that we are blessed by a particular thing that we don't really feel like we have at the moment, we're blessing the idea that it's possible. And we are blessing the idea that we have the resources to make a change in our experience, to go from lack to abundance, to realize that when we are in lack, we are perpetuating a belief that causes us to see lack not only within us but wherever we are. And so Thanksgiving, an incredible opportunity to begin the holiday season, is not only a time when we go around the table and say, let's go around the table and everybody give thanks for something, but we don't do it at other times. It's not the only time when we truly generate a feeling of abundance within us by repeating the principles, by acknowledging the principles that God is and that we are blessed by every moment of life in some form or another, and that it's not our job to get ourselves into a position where we can be thankful for something. In other words, let me just do something good so I can be satisfied and sleep tonight and not worry about what other people will think. That's not really Thanksgiving. That is an affirmation of lack. And I've heard myself say it more times than I would care to admit or repeat. Another affirmation of lack that I have certainly repeated too often, and it was after a period of years when I felt stuck in a certain situation that I was able to recognize what it was and why it was an affirmation of lack. And I would say every day, I give thanks that I don't get into trouble today. I give thanks that nobody disapproves of me today. I give thanks that, and it was all an affirmation of lack, all of it. It's an affirmation of fear when you think about it. I give thanks that nobody hurts me today. That came out of stress. That came out of a very, very difficult series of experiences for me where I felt anything but accepted or acceptable. And once I realized that I was doing that, I started to catch myself, and I started to not only to laugh at it, but to share that experience. Oh, look, I'm doing that again. Isn't that something I don't want to continue to do? No, that's not giving thanks. When Jesus was reprimanding the Pharisees for being superficial, he used to criticize them for them standing outside the temple and giving thanks that they weren't poor, or giving thanks that they weren't like other people, or giving thanks that they were higher than other people. That's not the same either. For sure, that's an example of insecurity. To place ourselves in a position above other people is a sure piece of information that as soon as the pendulum swings, we're going to place ourselves below other people. And it's just going to go that way, back and forth. Not a paradigm shift, but a pendulum swing that starts nowhere and ends nowhere. It's all about insecurity. Giving thanks is not, thank God I'm not you, or thank God I have more money, or thank God I have a better living situation than someone else. That's not prosperity, and it's not genuine gratitude. Genuine gratitude comes out of a recognition that everywhere we look, we see the face of God. And trying to be better than or fearing that we're worse than others is something that isn't really necessary for us to carry once we realize that we're expressions of spirit. And we don't have to concern ourselves with who or whom we are better than. There's no real competition when we think about the divine gift of individuality. The only competition that we really have is recognizing that we are setting out today to do more than we did yesterday, to experience more light, more love, to experience more self-knowledge, to heal and correct situations from the past. That's the only real competition there is. Because each of us is created equally by divine design, and each of us is unique in our expression. Each of us. And so the real gratitude comes as we know that, as we experience that, as we bless that. So, let's talk about gratitude. One of the primary needs and desires of all people, I believe, is to be appreciated, to be recognized, to be acknowledged, to be honored, to know that someone feels that what we did was noteworthy and relevant. So exciting to be able to look at the faces of those whom we thank or appreciate and realize what a powerful gift it is. And so, of course, it's hard to express or feel gratitude for others if we don't feel gratitude for ourselves. As I said before, there is no way that we are going to allow someone else to get away with something that we won't accept within ourselves. But there is every possibility to look at someone who has made a similar, shall we say, mistake that we have made, a mistake in perception, a mistake in understanding, and know that we're good enough, even though this experience was considered flawed in some ways. It is really hard, once again, to express or feel gratitude for others if we cannot experience gratitude for who we are. We often hold ourselves to impossible standards. We dismiss our accomplishments as being normal. We take them for granted. We focus on our flaws. This is not something that we need to continue doing. And if we can find a way, which I know we can, to observe ourselves to the point where we catch ourselves doing it, let's know that we're coming from a place of diminishment, not enhancement. We're diminishing who we are. And basically, we're living in a 5 sense world. We're not acknowledging the abstract world of the absolute. We're living in a world where if we make a mistake, we are taking a big risk of either getting fired or hurting someone or something, or being judged as incompetent. And often, not these days, in my opinion, with cancel culture, but often that works if one wants to run an accomplished organization. We take a look at our income tax, or we take a look at our checkbook, and we need to look at it with a critical eye. We need to make sure that we didn't make a mistake. We need to go over it as many times as we can. We don't necessarily trust blindly in someone else, but we make sure that we go over things to realize that making a mistake is not really safe in terms of the IRS or in terms of our balance, that we can be risking accuracy and taking it for granted, and it might come back to bite us. And so in the 5 cents world, we need to go when the light is green, stop when the light is red. We need to check and double check things that we do, especially things that we're responsible for, which we were discussing a few weeks ago. But when we evaluate or resonate with who we really are, we don't judge it by the last thing we did. We discuss it by who we are, what our potential is. It's a different mindset, and it takes different mental and emotional skills. It is abstract thinking, not concrete thinking. We must realize that we live in two worlds. And when I say abstract thinking or metaphysical thinking, I don't mean that we live in an airy-fairy world of magical thinking, saying if somebody challenges us on our bank balance, for example, it would be totally inappropriate to respond to them by saying, I'm sure it'll all work out fine, because I'm affirming divine order. So thank you for pointing that out to me, but I'm sure it's fine. I would not recommend that. I would not recommend that as a tool for self-knowledge or self-awareness, or as being socially appropriate for that matter. But the fact is, when we think metaphorically, when we think metaphysically, or use the abstract powers of our brain, we are living in a world of perception, of belief, of concentration of energy, of divine focus. We live in a world where our thoughts have power. This is what it means when we're affirming that we're made in the image and likeness of Spirit. We are creative by nature. And in order to acknowledge and give thanks for being creative, we need to understand that our focus is one of the most important components in experiencing our creative potential, because what we focus on in the depths of our being, what our core beliefs are, what we live our lives by, that has the potential for manifesting, and we need to be pretty careful about what we say and how it reflects some deeper ideas. So, what I'd like to do today is to share some quotes with you on the power of Thanksgiving, and comment on how we can really take these ideas and bring them to life on a daily basis, stronger and more loving than we ever have before. But right now, we're going to hear some very special music by Brett Mitchell, and Matthew J. Evans.
Here's a beautiful song for harvest time and Thanksgiving time. It's called Come Ye Thankful People, Come. One, two, three, four. Come, ye thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home. All is fully gathered in, safe as winter storms begin. God our Maker does provide for our wants to be supplied. Come to God's own temple, come, raise the song of harvest home. All the blessings of the field, all the stores the gardens yield, all the fruits in full supply, ripened under a summer sky. All that spring with bounteous hand scatters on receptive land. All that liberal autumn pours from her richly flowing stores. These to thee, our God, we owe, source from whom all blessings flow. And for these our songs we raise, songs of joy and grateful praise. Come ye thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home. Come to God's own temple, come, raise the song of harvest home. Come to God's own temple, come, raise the song of harvest home. Come, ye thankful people, come. Beautiful song, eh?
Beautiful. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans. What a beautiful rendition of that wonderful classic song. Happy Thanksgiving to you both. I'd just like to take a few more minutes to share some quotes with you that will jumpstart your commitment to developing more of a consciousness of Thanksgiving. The first one is a quote by William Arthur Ward. He says, "Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it." I love that quote. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. How many times do we think the person that we feel gratitude toward already knows it or doesn't need to hear it from us? How many times have we felt too shy or just felt that we didn't have time to write something down or to call? It's like wrapping a present and not giving it. It's just so exciting to think of it that way, because each of us is living in a world of conflicting beliefs as we continue to move forward and to focus on the more positive and powerful ways of looking at life. And what if in that moment, the person that we didn't have time for was struggling? What if that person just needed to hear an affirmation about what they were doing? What if we did share our good, if we gave the gift without feeling self-conscious about it? Well, it would be a gift freely given, and it would be one gratefully received. So I really think that's an important quote to keep in mind. The next one I'd like to share is, no one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. And this is a quote by the famous philosopher Alfred North Whitehead. Once again, no one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. How many times have we felt that we just needed to do this and get all the credit for it? How many times have we felt upset because our colleagues or coworkers or significant others just didn't participate to the degree that we wanted them to? How many times have we felt so insecure that we thought others would think that we didn't do enough if we shared the work with others? Believe me, one of the greatest achievements in developing a prosperity consciousness is to be able to graciously thank others who helped us along the way, who supported us, who did even what we might have previously considered insignificant contributions. Even those, just to be able to acknowledge them, opens up a whole new level of awareness within us. And not only is it a gracious and holistic thing to do, but it's also something that will serve us well as we continue to appreciate and give thanks for, rather than take for granted, everything that is done on our behalf by others. The next is a famous one by the great theologian and philosopher Meister Eckhart, who lived in the 13th century, I believe, 12th century. He said, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. And this is the foundation of our concept in New Thought of affirmative prayer, giving thanks in advance that you already have what you ask for. Our prayer, again, in New Thought is affirmative prayer, and it begins with, I give thanks for. The power inherent within me to let go of pain of the past that no longer serves me. I give thanks for the peace on this planet that is growing in consciousness every day. I give thanks for the good health that I wish to achieve. I give thanks for the prospering power of God that's inherent within me. I give thanks for the wisdom to solve this challenge. I give thanks for compassion. I give thanks for all of the beauty of life that I have not yet experienced. This is the greatest prayer. Thank you. And saying thank you is more than enough. And it honors us in a way that is so powerful and so positive that there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Every time we say thank you, we believe that we have received or that we have the power to receive. It is such a demonstration of prosperity that it is a beautiful sight to behold. And so today, I give thanks for you. I give thanks for Unity of San Luis Obispo. I give thanks for my beloved family and friends. I give thanks for this opportunity to speak with you every week and to share the beliefs that I hold most dear in the world. I give thanks for a future in which so many of us recognize our own power and potential and step out in the world and talk about what is fair and just and compassionate and inclusive. I give thanks for every moment that I am here on this planet and am able to call it my beloved earthly home and watch it get healthier every single day as we bless it and love it into wholeness once again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Breathe deeply and relax as we enter once again into our time of inner contemplation and integration of today's message. We give thanks for this opportunity to celebrate Thanksgiving, not only as a holiday, but as a blessing that we speak and think every day of our lives. Let's give thanks now for abundant supply of all good in our lives. Let's give thanks for our beloved relationships as they deepen and grow stronger and more loving. Let's give thanks for our creative potential and our awareness of how to best let our light shine and serve our planet and everyone in it. Let us give thanks for our energy and good health, for our family and friends, for our fulfilling work, we give thanks for opportunities to serve and to be served by others. We give thanks that we are never alone and that we are enough. We give thanks for peace of mind and heart that come with knowing who we are. We give thanks for companionship and relationships where there are mutual blessings. And we give thanks for our home, the home in which we live, and the home in our consciousness. And so it is. Amen. Friends, I just want to let you know that our next in-person meeting is December 5th, and we have a lot to talk about in terms of our social action activity, and we have some wonderful and inspiring information to impart to you. So please, if you're not on our mailing list and you're not receiving our weekly newsletter, please share your email address with our website, unityslow.com, and we will be delighted to add you to the mailing list. We'd like to bless our offerings that we would share with Unity of San Luis Obispo at this time and give thanks that Unity of San Luis Obispo is an inclusive ministry, and our messages go to bless people throughout the world through our ability to do them virtually. We give thanks for all of the prosperity that we experience, and I would ask you to take your offering and hold it in your hand or in your heart, and let's speak the words of our prosperity statement together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive.
Here's a tune I wrote way back in the day, 1968. It came fairly fast. I was very happy that it came that fast. It's called Lizette. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. An original song called Lizette. Good going, Matthew. Isn't he good?
You too. Beautiful tune, man.
Thank you, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans. Brett, once again, you have demonstrated your divine light and your ability to connect heart to heart with everyone who listens to your music. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for sharing your love. And thank you for the beauty that you share with all of us. Happy Thanksgiving, Brett. See you next week. Love you. And of course, I love you too, Matthew. Let's sing our peace song, shall we?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let's speak the words of our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Please remember to press the like button and to share your comments with us. We really appreciate them. Also, we invite you to listen to the Get Off Your Affirmation podcast. There's a companion piece this week that goes with our talk and gives you deeper insights and deeper understanding on the concept of gratitude all year round. Happy Thanksgiving, and have a wonderful week. You deserve it.
Every single person living peace in what we do. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true.